what does a savage girl or savage woman look like or do in 2021? Is she classy, bougie, and ratchet, like Meg Thee Stallion said, or how does she turn that down? What's poppin', y'all? You rocking with Jiggy Jones. We got a special guest in the building, an R&B crooner who says, "I'm not signed, but I'm major." Reggie Becton is in the building, y'all. What's good, Reg?
What's happening? I love that intro, man. That's one of my favorite lines off the album.
Nah, facts. And that's in your that's in your IG bio too.
Yeah, ain't signed, but I'm major. We shall see.
Definitely. So first and foremost, congrats on the album. But I know y'all kicking off the tour in Milwaukee tonight.
Yes.
Home of the NBA champions.
Ooh.
So how you feeling about that, man? Kicking off your first night on tour.
I'm in awe, man. I cannot lie. I think that it's something that I've truly been praying for quite some time. And I know that I thought it would be last year and the pandemic happened. And then in 2019, I got a taste of it because we did like this small 6-day tour with So Far Sounds. But to be now on a tour giving direct support for Grace Weber, someone who's uber talented, someone I consider a close friend who gives me advice about the music industry, and just being out here making memories with her and her band and my band, it's really like just an awesome opportunity, and it's like a dream come true. So I'm super excited. Milwaukee is Grace's hometown, and it's sold out. So I know the love in the building is going to be through the roof. So I'm just excited to get on that stage and bust it down.
In fact, do your thing on that, man. Yeah, no, we're now. What do you just say? You know, you're excited to get on stage, first night on tour. What are you looking forward to the most on tour? You know, throughout the tour, what you looking forward to the most?
I think mostly I'm just looking forward to like performing, becoming a ritual for me, like performing night after night. Oh, yeah. I think that like it's a difference when you get to do something like every night. You just really get in the thick of it.
Yeah.
And I haven't had that. And, you know, I personally, I suffer from a lot of performing anxiety. When I start shows, and like if I do a show and I do another show a month, the nerves and shit like that really can get to me. Right. So I'm just happy to like be able to do it day in and day out and really be in the ether of my artistry as an entertainer and as a performer. So I think that's what I'm looking forward to mostly.
That's a fact, man. Definitely get them reps in on stage. I already know you about to kill it. So when you come to New York, I'm definitely next week. I'm definitely be pull up to that show. And
you have to.
Yeah, no, definitely. So first, man, California is out now, man. First of all, clap it up for yourself. California is out.
Hey, appreciate it.
I know. I understand and can relate to an artist when you put that work in for a full body of work. You stay committed to that, and you finally release it out to the world. Because like Erykah Badu said, being an artist and you're sensitive about your shit. When it's out to the world, it's out to judge, to critique, but you letting that go. So what did you learn just doing that process of recording in California?
I think like the Erykah Badu quote is perfect because honestly, I haven't talked about this yet, but before the album came out, I wouldn't let anybody hear it. The only people that will hear it was me and my managers. We heard it, of course, and then like the creative direction team, I let them hear it, and that was even like I don't really want y'all to hear it just yet. Can't we just make up some art direction without y'all hearing it? And then the publicist team, they heard it. And it was crazy because everyone who heard it, I had this vision of how I wanted people to respond to it. And I never got the response I wanted from them. And then when it came out and there was so many people connecting with it and so many people like, yo, this is great. Like people talking about R&B album of the year, like, and things like that. Like it's really been a dream come true and something I'm just in awe of. And it taught me like, it's okay to have different music and to have things that people might not get and to follow your first mind. And like when you believe in something, I think Missy tweeted something about it. And it was saying something like the idea you had when you first started something, like hold on to that because that's the reason you're doing it. And that's going to keep you pushing. And that tweet really stuck with me. So when people didn't respond and things like how I thought they should respond to the music, it didn't make me go back in the studio and try to create something like that I knew people would like. I just stuck to my guns, and it taught me just like to stick with your first mind, and also like don't be so afraid of like. I wish I would have played it for more people. Now that it's out, I wish I would have played it for more people before it came out, and like gave that opportunity for it to live there. But it's just like being confident in what I bring to music and my ear and my pen and things like that. So it taught me a lot about just confidence and self-awareness.
Nah, fact, yeah, that Missy quote is spot on. And speaking from someone with Uber experience and just
Right.
and not only music, but just stepping outside the box and creating your own path and not listening to what people were saying, because if she had listened to what other people were saying, we wouldn't have got the Missy Elliott that we got
We
today.
got to get your freak on. We wouldn't got this.
Exactly, right? Get your freak on, all the crazy videos, all
Exactly.
the
Shout out
establishing
Missy.
boundaries of art. So definitely shout out to Missy on that, and definitely shout out to you for sticking to your guns. And
Thank you.
and you start off with the album, with this track Floating.
Yes.
And on the track, you say, all your friends getting their masters, you just trying to get yours.
Yeah.
So make sure you get yours. So first and foremost, I know you independent right now, right?
Yes, completely independent.
Okay, so with that quote in mind, I'm assuming you planning on staying that way, or what's your mentality?
I plan on staying independent as long as I can,
Okay.
to where it makes sense. I think, and that was another reason with this project. We were going through like a lot of situations and distro deals and just talking to a lot of people, and nothing was like the perfect fit. I felt like I was like arguing or trying to get bare minimum things done in the contracts or any of them that I wanted, bare minimum things that really were frivolous to me.
Yeah.
I was arguing for frivolous things, and I just thought that, like, all right, let's just take a break, and let's release the album ourselves, and let's just keep building leverage, But I understand that in the music industry, as an independent artist, you can only go but so far. It's a ceiling you'll reach, because you just need that radio budget, and you need that, that bigger investment. And I'm not against any of that, as a kid growing up, my dream was to definitely be signed and things like that. So I hope one day I will be signed to a label that I can come to a beneficial partnership with, and it'll make me feel like, now I don't want to necessarily, just like get played or end up in a situation where I feel like I'm a slave to a contract. I think Anita Baker, her situation where she fulfilled her contract, did everything she's supposed to do, waited the time out and things like that, and she still had a hard time when it was time to return her masters, give it her just due. It still was a hard time for her getting her just due, and that's scary to me as well. So something to think about. But independent is fun. I get to move on my own accord. I get to make the music and make the art that I choose to make, and don't have to run it up a building of people. It's just me and my management team and the homies who come to the studio and things like that. When we feel like something is good, we just put it out there in the world and we keep going.
That's a fact. That's a fact, man. And definitely just having that business model, just coming in, that independence, and just kind of building your core team where, like you said, there's not a ladder of so many people that have to make the final decision. It's you're the creatives and the creatives around you, and then you got your team in order to give you more critique if you need it. So you say you played it for a small group of people. So within that group, what was the response when you first played it?
Bro, the response was hella lukewarm. It was so crazy. Like my creative direction team, they just was like, all right, we get it. They just kept asking a lot of questions. And when somebody asks a lot of questions, it's like, all right, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then we were playing it for like a couple labels and distro companies. And it was one label they really loved, like the couple songs we sent to them. Most of the labels, when we sent them songs or distro companies, they really did like it. They didn't hear the full project. But in my team's defense, they heard it before it was like mixed and mastered. They got like the rough and that changed it a lot. So I understand them might not being able to see the vision all the way through. But that was really honestly who I played for. Like my roommate may have heard it in like walking past the house when I did some of the recordings at home. But literally most of the people who heard the album before was just the producers who produced like on a lot of the songs. So the executive producer, Aiden Carroll, Marco, who co-executive produced it. We all knew what the project was. But up until the last minute, we was kind of changing it. Like Obvious maybe was added like 4 weeks before. 4 weeks before we like finalized the project. That was the last song we did for it. And yeah, so that was the response was just a little warm. So now that it's out and people are gravitating towards it, I'm like, all right, pat on my back. And
facts, man. No cap, bro. You did your thing on there.
Thank you.
Me personally, like I grew up on R&B. R&B was the first music I was introduced to, so that's always in my heart. Even though as dominant as hip hop are, the R&B roots are there because everything is melodic nowadays. So it's like R&B is that's the core. That's the core of music, I feel. So those stories, the passion, You know, it definitely is prevalent in California. You could hear that. You could definitely hear that. Now speaking of just other people's opinions, right? You talk about in the second track, Depression. You know, you talk about other people's opinions and so how do you try to block that out? You know, while you're being a creative, you giving your all to this project, putting your art out to the world, or when you gearing up to put your art out to the world, how do you block out either the negative energy or just the opinions of people trying to tell you to change different things?
Yeah, I think I tried to block it out by like knowing who I am and being confident in who I am as a person. And then also I rarely take opinions on stuff from people who hasn't done what I'm like trying to do. I think that's a really good one. And I learned that from a Black song on Free Black, which is one of my favorite albums that heavily inspired California. But he say like trying to tell me an opinion about some shit you never done. And I think that's like so true. Like I can go to you and ask you about opinion for my album, but if you never released the album, like how much should I, you know what I'm saying? Like how much should I
How
hold
much
your
value is that whole?
Of course, like I know you know good music and I respect your ear, but at the same time, if I hear it this way and I'm trying to get a point across with the music I'm making, you might not just understand the music or the message I'm trying to give out, and that's okay. But I think that like really seeking counsel and advice from people who are in your shoes and are like aligned with the things you're trying to do in life and like taking that critique a bit more.
Facts. No, that's a fact. That's a fact. I agree 100%, man. Definitely knowing who you are and sticking to your guns, like you said earlier. Now on the project, I believe it's Amnesia. You tell Shorty to turn down her savage, right? So
Yeah, Ali.
yeah, shout out to Yeah Ali on that track. So what does a savage girl or savage woman look like or do in 2021? Is she classy, bougie, and ratchet, like Meg Thee Stallion said, or how does she turn that down?
I don't think I think it's a lifestyle. I don't think being a savage has any look. I think any girl, any shape, any race, anything, like she can be a savage. And I think it's just like, like I think a savage is kind of like the same thing as toxic. Like you just out here living toxic. Like you don't give a fuck about me. You don't give a fuck about how I feel in the situation. Like you just out here for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just out here enjoying the world. And I don't knock it. But like when my heart's involved, let's turn down that savage.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact, man. And even at the end of that track, you got the voiceover. You know, you talk about like sometimes you get lost when that love comes into play. You know, you got your feelings out there, put your emotions out there, bro. You like, damn, like, oh, what's up? Like, you're not responding or giving me the response. You know, when I'm giving you something that's mutual. Have you ever been in a situation where you feel like you lost yourself within that situation?
For sure. I think that when you hear stories about love, you're always like, that's crazy. I don't get how ever. And one day you wake up,
your ass, you be like, damn.
Yeah, one day you wake up and you find yourself in a situation, you're like, damn, how did I get here? And I definitely found myself in that situation, just like being consumed and like doing things, you like being out of body, as my manager always says, like, yo, that's out of body. Like, but being out your body, like you doing shit you never, if you looked in the mirror, you'd be like, what the fuck? Who is this person?
Ain't me.
Yeah, like, and that's the power of love. Scary, but when it's done right, it is great.
Now, is there anything that you throughout this process? I know you said you wish you played it for more people, but throughout the process, was there anything that you regretted you could have done differently aside from just playing the music from other people? Is there collaborations or?
I definitely let me see. Was there a collaboration that I wanted for that didn't happen? I mean, I really want to work with Rex Life Raj, and I thought I really wanted to work on this album with him, but we'll get there one day.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything? I think no. I think it's perfectly imperfect. Even with the release date, we had planned to put it out August 19th, which is like the day I moved to California. Yeah, great day. That's the day I moved to California, and just dealing with like the uploading, we weren't done the album and things like that. I think that made it a hard time. I think going through it, if you would ask me this question while I was going through it, I would have probably had a laundry list of like, yeah, this should have been done, this should have been done. But now that it's out and it's being received, it's like nothing really matters. It came out and everything happens for a reason. Like it's the way it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
There is one thing at the end of Losers, you know, it has that instrumental, or like before it gets to that part, I wanted a voice memo, and I wanted it to be my dad just talking about his experience in love. And I didn't muster up the courage to ask him to have that conversation with him just yet. But
what happened?
I don't know. I just got busy and I didn't have time to really like get into that and try to like, you know, like that's one of those conversations. If I ask my dad,
Yeah, you gotta sit down.
I gotta sit down. It's a 3-hour long conversation. Then he's asking me about my love life and all this stuff. I'm like, all right, I don't got time for that. Just record this.
It's a process.
Right. But that's one thing I would have did. Maybe on the deluxe, I'll make that happen.
Exactly. Deluxe are popular, you know. Definitely come back with a couple more joints. I'm sure the fans would definitely be happy about that one.
They already asked me for it. Yeah, I think we're definitely gonna do a deluxe. I don't think it will come out until spring, you know, like on its 6th.
Let the album sizzle.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it live. But we definitely got some songs that were left off and that we made in the process that I think people would really enjoy, and I like them a lot.
Fire. Now speak a little bit about your oranges, man. I know you're from PG County. You know, shout out to everybody in PG, Maryland, Baltimore, DC area. Just you making that transition from PG to LA. Just talk about the music scene in PG just prior to your move.
I would say so I moved away when I went to college. So the last time I lived, my mom and all my family still lived there, but the last time Reggie Becton lived there was 2011. And I think then it was the music scene existed, but it was more so like independent labels and people trying to like work for labels. There wasn't no real like circle of like people, communal effort of like music in DC. And I think through the years that they have cultivated a community of music, and they've been going really, really hard with trying to put DC artists on. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's great that artists are like starting to be able to build followings and build cult followers in DC and not have to move out away like I did, and things like that. But no, DC was very critical to my my music development. Like my brother, when I was in middle school, he had a go-go band. I was singing his go-go band. I think that taught me a lot about just like merging different genres and how to like cover a song and like make it your own, yet still keep the essence of it. And I think that go-go musicians are some of the most talented people in the world.
That's that beat your feet music.
Yeah, the supremely slept on. And it's amazing to me how they take these songs, something like Adele's Hello or Ashley Simpson's Pieces of Me, and they make them like, they give them new life and give them new sounds, and they give them makeovers. And I think that's one of the most talented things you can do, to hear a song and be able to transform it into something completely fresh and new. But yeah, so when I was there, their independent wasn't even a thought in my head, because it was always like, you have to make a demo. Like that was still being preached. Like you have to find an A&R, and an A&R got to pick you up and things like that. So I went to college at Temple, and I lived in Philly for some time, 5 years. Yeah. TU, you already know. And that told me about like R&B in Philly is just different. And I think that's when I realized that like, oh, it's a community of artists here that you can come up in this circle, and then sooner or later somebody can put you on and things like that. And got a bit distracted by college, I can't lie.
Be like that, bro. We all
go there, you know, so much shit that's going on there, especially at a school like Temple.
Yeah, it's a lot of activity. I never, when I was in school, I never made my way to Temple. I had some homies at Rutgers Camp. I went to as a school in Jersey called William Patterson.
Okay, I've heard of that before.
Yeah, so we used to go to I had a couple of people at Lincoln, at Cheney.
Okay, we spent some time at Lincoln.
Yeah, Rutgers Camden. So like, you know, that area. But some reason I never made it to Temple. I definitely should have though.
Yeah. Temple's a vibe. But yeah, so I went there, lived there for 5 years, and after that, I graduated. I was like, all right, Reggie, what the fuck we doing? We staying at T-Mobile. I was working at T-Mobile. We staying at T-Mobile, or we moving on, and we're gonna try to make this dream happen. And I moved to LA, and
it said you had a $1 dream and an air mattress.
Yeah, man. I remember on the flight to LA.
Wait, did you have the air mattress? You bought the air mattress in Philly before you got on the flight?
No. I bought the first day there. I bought the air mattress.
Okay.
I was like, all right, let me get this air mattress. And I remember like the whole first year in LA, me and my homie who I moved there with, we stayed at Airbnbs. Like every month we would kind of switch Airbnbs. We were like sharing one bedroom.
That's not expensive.
It was LA, bro. LA is so expensive that it was cheaper. Like we would get like this one, like it was like this one square box, and it
Okay.
would be 2 beds. It would be like 2 twin beds, and then it would be like a communal shower and a communal
Man,
kitchen, and it would be 3 of us in there because another
right.
homie moved there, and we would pay like $1,200 a month, so it was like 400 a piece,
Yeah.
and we had a twin air mattress at that time, so we would just rotate the air mattress, like, all right, you get a week on the bed, you get a week on the
Yeah.
bed, then
That's that grind
and it
right
was
there,
really,
boy.
grind. And 5 years later, I'm in a total better place in a total different space. But I
Facts.
don't forget those days at all.
Definitely, man. Humble beginnings, bro. I feel like everyone has to definitely go through it, and those makes for the stories. I'm big on storytelling. I feel like any obstacle that we go through, that's just to make the story a little better once we overcome it. So you speaking about humble beginnings, and now you on tour, opening up in Milwaukee. You
Yeah,
about to shut the stage down, man. R&B is at a great place right now. What do you think about the state of R&B at this moment?
I'm one of the people who never really was mad at the state of R&B. If anything, I was just mad at the consumers and how they felt about R&B. But I feel like there's always been good R&B because I'm like a R&B connoisseur. Like that's all I listen to majority. And I feel like I've always been fed good R&B. Like even in the 2010s, when the big artists was making like pop and EDM records, there were still people like Tink early on making great R&B.
Right.
There was like Trey Songz at that time making great R&B. Carrie Hilson, like those all the people I was like, all right, some of the mainstream people, they doing a little get your money. I ain't mad at the back snatch, but there was still always good R&B. And I think now that R&B is coming back full speed ahead. And I think that we're seeing like this renaissance almost with just like new artists coming to the fold. And I'm excited for it. Like a lot of the new artists that I love are my friends. And I can say that truly, like we're friends. We see each other at events. We support each other at our shows. And I think it's like just a great camaraderie to where that like it's really going to make the genre grow and everybody's doing dope shit. So I'm excited about R&B and where it's going.
No, facts. I know just in that Washington metro area, you got a couple people, a handful of people that's come out of there. Wale, Ari Lennox, Link, Corday. Is there anybody that you either connected with over throughout the years, or have you made any of those connections yet?
I haven't connected with them just yet. I had a small opportunity with one of them, but that didn't really happen.
Okay.
And but I'm big fans of all of them.
Which one, Ari Lennox?
I'm not gonna say who.
Because we need that Reggie Becton and Ari Lennox collab. I would love to work with.
I would love to. I've been a fan of Ari since she was making covers on Facebook, sitting in her room singing Alicia Keys' "Unthinkable." Like we were Facebook friends at that time. So I think it's beautiful what she's done and how she makes R&B, and I'm so happy for everything that's going good for her and going her way. But no, I would love to work with her in any shape or fashion, like a tour, song, anything. I'm down.
Put it in the air. It's already in the air, bro. That collab coming.
Yeah.
That collab coming. I may have to play a little A&R, make it happen.
Yeah, you gotta make the calls. Call them up.
Let's see what happens, man. But just as far as what does success look like to you? How do you define success throughout your journey? I know like right now, being on tour, of course, like every step of the way is a new plateau. You go from your humble beginnings, moving to LA, to now being on tour. What does success look like to you? Is it tangible? Is it plaques? Is it numbers? Or is it just
I'm sorry about the sound. They're starting sound checks, but I'll just speak a little louder. I think success for me, it changes. They're like twofold. So I have this like public facing success, which is like for me, it's the Super Bowl. To me, like the Super Bowl is like the biggest stage you can be on in life as an entertainer. And to me, that's where I'm trying to take it. I'm trying to get all the way there. Right. And then like Reggie as just like the small, grateful human being and just like balanced Libra, it's just like, I just want to be able to pay my bills off music and just to be an artist every day. Like if I can do this for the next 30 years and do it comfortably and raise a family and not have to like go back to a 9-to-5 and different things like that, I think I would be in love with life.
And lastly, over the last 18 months, a lot has changed in our lives, especially last year we had to sit down for a little bit, be to ourselves. So what has the pandemic taught you?
The pandemic taught me a lot about like falling in love with yourself. During the pandemic, I really just fell in love with myself, fell in love with my voice. Because for a long time, I was like, why can't I sing like this or why can't I sound like that?
Word.
And being in the pandemic and having to do shows over Zoom and having to do shows over IG Live where there's no studio mechanics, you don't get no pretty reverb, you don't get no pretty mic, no EQing. You just really go for it. And I think that in that, I just learned to really fall in love with my gift and know that there's nobody that can do what I do, and I can't do anything anyone else do. And there's beauty in that, and it just really like just keep going and really like practicing. It's you versus you. Like that's what the pandemic taught me. You versus you completely.
Exactly, man. Reggie, definitely appreciate the convo. You taking out the time, bro. Yo, go kill that show in Milwaukee. When you come to New York, I'm definitely pulling up.
Excited to see you in New York. Trust me, I'm gonna have some merch for you.
All right, say less, bro. Go take care of your sound check. Appreciate you again, bro.
Have a good one.
Yes, sir. Jiggy Jones, Reggie Becton, y'all.
All right.